and men like Lerone Bennett Jr., the executive editor of Ebony magazine.
Somebody in the media raised the question last night about welfare. We're not talking about welfare. We're talking about back pay.
Bennett was addressing the Chicago City Council in support of a resolution demanding the U.S. Congress address the issue of reparation.
Has any other group anywhere suffered so long and so grievously and received so little in recompense and apologies? Has any other group anywhere bled more and cried more and died more?
The Chicago City Council passed the resolution 46-1, joining similar actions by a number of other U.S. cities. The lone dissenting voice in Chicago was Alderman Brian Doherty, who represents a white immigrant district. He says his constituents had no part of slavery and can't be held responsible. But the issue clearly struck a nerve in Chicago's poorer black neighborhoods, places like Alderman Dorothy Tillman's third.
America owes us a debt. We're here to collect. So those who want to come and help, let them come on. And those who don't get in the way because we're going to run over you.
Ms. Tillman says it was blacks who literally dug the foundations of America.
Certainly America grew off the backs of blacks in terms of free labor. And we're the great nation we are because of that.
In order to discuss, you raised the idea of reparations, and the next question, reparations,
well,
and how much?
I think we get reparations from both government and private, from corporate. The Jewish community have received reparation from all over the place, and they have done that because they gave free labor and they was hurt.
The German government and industry did agree to pay reparations to slave laborers who survived World War II. Did pay reparations to Japanese Americans interned in the war. Those payments ignited a spark among African Americans.
Devastated because you still see the residual of slavery. And then you look parity in the school system and you see how bad our schools are, and we're still struggling. And every other ethnic group is able to amass wealth and to get an economic base, but black folks. And that goes right.
100 years of government-sanctioned discrimination that followed. But if compensation is to be made, who would foot the bill?
What about those Americans who said, look, I came here in the 20s, at the turn of the century, long after slavery. We never benefited, as you described, from slave owning or...
Well, first of all, nobody's suggesting that they are culpable or responsible. That's not...
But they're the taxpayers who are putting up the money.
When government incurs a debt or responsibility, government is obligated to honor that.
How much money are we talking about?
The estimates of unpaid slave wages would run anywhere from $1.4 trillion to $10 trillion. In wage discrimination alone, the cost of life from 1929 to 1969 is $1.6 trillion.
While many in the reparations movement want individual cash payments, Robinson and others suggest something different.
There would be support for education, dramatic intervention from birth through college for those who have been victimized and seem to be frozen at the bottom of American society. And there would be massive infusions of cash and capital, economic development in the black community.
What do you think would be the effect within black society if the government did pay billions upon billions upon billions in reparation?
It would have the same effect of the $5 trillion that have been spent since 1965 fighting the war on poverty. Many of the problems that the black community face today, they're worse than they were in 1965. That is illegitimacy, family breakdown, crime, et cetera, et cetera.
We're simply talking about giving people what is their due, without which they can never be successful. How can one expect a child going to a school that is under-equipped and poorly funded to have any chance to to compete with a child who has every opportunity to succeed in American society. If the game must be played, let it be played fairly. We're not doing that. We're never.
In 1997, he tried to get Congress to pass a one-sentence resolution apologizing for slavery.
I've never been part of an issue where I received so much hate mail in all my life.
Your own constituents.
From my own constituents and from people around the country.
Did any of your colleagues in the House say, look, just don't touch this one. This is just going to be too divisive, too hot to handle. You're just going to trouble with it.
Yeah, and a lot of them did.
Hall's resolution never even...
Do you think this apology will come anytime soon?
I think that it probably won't pass while I'm in Congress. I think it's going to be a long time.
What I really don't quite get is why those words are so hard to utter in this House.
It shows that this very simple gesture, it shows there's a lot of hate in the country.
We say to other countries around the world all the time that you must have courage to revisit your past and to make right the misdeeds of that past. But we're unwilling to do it ourselves.
Don't you think the issue is very interesting, but it really is pie in the sky?
You do a thing because it is the right thing to do. And if you do it long enough, well enough, and if it is right, ultimately you will prevail. We will prevail on this issue as we have on other great human rights issues because it is right.
Issue this fall, an aide to the civil rights leader promised yesterday. What do you think of the issue of reparations for slavery?
Well, I would hope that we would spend our time thinking about how to deal with today. I would hope that we would spend our time thinking about how to educate black children, particularly black children who are caught in poverty. I would hope that we would spend our time, as the President has said, turning back the soft bigotry of low expectations against our children. Slavery is more than 150 years in the past, and of course there's a continuing stain. I've said very often, slavery was America's birth defect. It was there from the beginning. But we have to turn now to the present and to the future. And I would hope that all leadership, black and white, and immigrant leadership, would look at the value of education moving forward and focus on how we're going to move forward here, how we're going to make this better now, not in the past.
No reparations.
I think reparations, given the fact that there's plenty of blame to go around for slavery, plenty of blame to go around among African and Arab states, plenty of blame to go around among Western states, I think we're better to...
Bush administration and many Jewish leaders fear the conference will be a political platform to accuse Israel of racism against Palestinians. But conference leaders pledge to push ahead.
We have a unique opportunity for a new global alliance. This time a global alliance to combat the four scourges in the title of this conference: racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance.
Among the many religious groups attending the conference are representatives from the Vatican. They're urging nations that took part in the slave trade to apologize for that.